You are using the battery wrong in F1 24 and it's killing your lap times. Here's why. If you have ever looked at an onboard from an esports driver this year, you might have noticed that they use overtake quite a lot in their qualifying laps. Why is that? The reason is simple. Hot lap mode is no longer the fastest way around the track. You'll now have to use overtake. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can apply the simple technique that all pros use in order to improve your lap times and get ahead of the competition. Before we move on to the juicy bits, you need to understand this. Around most, if not all of the tracks in F1 24, you rarely run out of all the amount of ERS that is available to you during the lap. That is because Codemasters eyeball the amount of ERS that is necessary to each and every track around this year's game. This is similar to Qatar in F1 23, where if you left the car in hot lap mode the entire time, you might run out of battery before you cross the finish line. In F1 24, the green bar represents the amount of ERS that you are allowed to use within a lap, whereas the yellow bar represents the amount of energy that you actually have inside of your battery, also known as your energy store. In previous years, these two values used to be tightly knit together. In the 24 edition, however, due to the addition of engine braking, you might actually end up with a lot of energy that's left over at the end of your qualifying lap. This means there's more energy ready to use at any given moment. This is where overtake mode comes in. We can use it to make use of the extra energy that we recover from engine braking. It's what the pros do, and it's definitely something that you should start doing as well. You can use it to bring the car quickly back up to speed coming out of a heavy traction zone, or you can use it to carry more top speed down a straight. However, be careful not to let the overtake burn for too long because it drains the battery excessively fast, and you might run out of battery before you actually cross the finish line. And don't burn for too long above 7th gear, as it has its diminishing returns. Since you're already so close to the top speed of the car, you're wasting a lot of battery to gain very little. We can use that energy elsewhere for more noticeable gains. The more you play around with this technique, the more you will get ahead of your competition. Now you might think that's all there is to it and that you're ready to become an esports driver. Wrong! Because there's one missing ingredient left. Now hear me out. What if? Just bear with me for a second. Medium mode is actually faster in qualifying. No. Smarter people than me have already tried, and they have discovered that using medium mode gives you more battery to play with elsewhere on track. Remember the green ERS bar from earlier? That's the total amount of ERS that you are allowed to use within a lap. With overtake, we can take advantage of the extra that's left at the end of the lap. But what if I want to create more energy for myself so that I can use overtake for longer? That's when you use the medium output mode, because that drains the battery at a slightly slower rate. In corners where I'm rarely going full throttle, it is better to use medium. This has two benefits. Number one, better cornering ability. Easier to get traction. You might find yourself going flat in corners where you usually can't. You will often be able to get back on the power sooner as well. Better straight line speed. Since I can get back on the power earlier, I can then use the extra battery to engage overtake and gain even more straight line speed. In a way, this is similar to the concept of slow in, fast out. This usually results in a faster lap time. Don't believe me? Let's take Belgium for example. Les Combes, Bruxelles, and No Name are all corners where I barely spend any time full throttle. Let's see if our theory is indeed faster. On the left, I'm using hot lap mode the entire time. On the right, I'm alternating between medium and overtake, coupled with a little bit of hot lap mode when needed. I'm going to be using medium in places where I know I'm not going to go full throttle. This allows me to have more battery available to use out of the second sector. I can use overtake for longer on the straight, and this allows me to reach a better top speed sooner coming into Blanchiment. At the end, with hot lap mode only, I managed to get a 142.1, and with medium mode and overtake, I manage a whopping 141.8. Yes, I do understand there might be a slight margin of error, a tenth and a half due to human error, but I still believe overall this technique should prove to be faster. There are other examples of this. Let's take a look at the hotel section in Abu Dhabi. As you approach, put the car into medium mode already, because you will not be able to go full throttle anyways through the next sequence of corners. This gives me more energy, more green bar, so that's more ERS that I can use elsewhere on the lap. Think about the exit of turn 1, the exit onto the first straight out of sector 1. You can use overtake to reach a higher top speed faster compared to what you would with hot lap mode. Same thing with the second sector around Interlagos. Going into the sector with only low speed corners, you can save a lot of battery by using medium mode and use the extra down the main straight, which is absolutely ginormous. If I leave things in hot lap mode in the middle sector, I do not gain that much time actually compared to medium mode, and then I'm forced to use hot lap only all the way to the finish line. But if I use medium combined with some overtake to keep the momentum up, this leaves me with significantly more ERS to play with out of the final corner. I have more top speed and thus gain about a tenth or two up to the line. Don't believe me? Just look at Jarno Opmir's onboard. Pay close attention to where he's using overtake, especially on the exit of low speed corners. So go ahead and start applying this to your own driving. Always think of where you can gain an edge on your opponents. Don't just turn your brain off and drive lap after lap for the sake of driving. Always think and analyze, because that's how you improve. Once again, if you got any questions or you'd like to let me know that you found the video helpful, leave a comment below. I always read them. In the meantime, this is Formula Kai signing off, and I'll see you on track. Peace. Holy shit. We done it.